Recently, I completed a 10-day Vipassana course, which essentially requires you to be in the meditation center for 10 consecutive days. You wake up at 4 in the morning, you go back to bed at 9:30 at night. During those waking hours, you are meditating for 11 hours, and there is 1 hour of discourse as well. No mobile phones allowed, no talking allowed. You're not even allowed to look into somebody's eyes as well. So all the other participants are pretty much invisible to you for those 10 days period. The most difficult part that people find about this course is the meals. Your first meal is given to you at 6:30 in the morning. You can eat as much as you want. Then the second meal is your lunch at 11 o'clock. Again, you can eat as much as you want. And then the third meal for the first timers, the new students, is given at 6 in the evening, which is a very, very light meal. That's probably an area that people typically struggle. So here is my video because I have received a lot of requests from family, friends, colleagues. They wanted to know more about my experience, and what I will cover in this video essentially is first I will talk about my thoughts before going for meditation. So I recorded the video of my expectations just on the morning of going for the meditation course. So that's what you will see in this video. Next is a segment which talks about my expectations, my preparations. Then immediately after completing the course, I recorded a couple of videos while I was still in the meditation center on day 10. So my thoughts are very, very fresh in that video, and I could capture exactly how I felt after the course. So what you will see in the segment is how I felt afterwards. And towards the end of this video, I have also recorded experience of one of the volunteers there. I'm grateful for Ajay for sharing his thoughts immediately after the course. Ajay has done this course 5 to 6 times in his life, in his 20s and in his 30s as well. So he has kindly shared his thoughts as well. Me as a new student, my experience probably is very shallow in this area, but Ajay having done this multiple times, I'm hoping that his experience will be more valuable to people who are watching this video. And after Ajay's experience, at the end, I will be sharing my experience of this course 2 months after completing the course. So how I feel now after having completed this course, and having tried to implement the daily practice of meditation for 2 months after completing this course. So that is the last segment, and after that I will also answer some of the questions, the common questions I received from family, friends and colleagues, typical common questions, and that those questions will hopefully give you some guidance if you are planning to take this course as well. One disclaimer: I have done this course only once, a 10-day course. On YouTube, you will find a lot of videos of people who have done longer courses, have done multiple courses. Please watch those as well. Their experiences are much more deeper than my experiences. So let's dive in. Let's start with the video that specially talks about my expectations just on the morning of leaving for the course. Okay, I'm recording this video before I go for my 10-day Vipassana meditation course. This is something that I've been excitingly waiting to do for a really, really long time. I had signed up for this same 10-day course when I was in college, and for some reason I could not go. There is always the right time for everything, so I guess I probably wasn't ready for this one earlier, and now I am ready. And unless and until you are ready mentally, I feel this is a course that should not be taken lightly, or this is a course that can be taken only when you really know what you're getting into. Having said that, I'm still not sure what I've signed up for, and I'm excited and nervous both at the same time. Excited because there is a good level of benefit to be had after attending this course. A lot of people have shared their experiences. I'm nervous for multiple reasons. I will not be reachable on phone for family, especially, and that's one area that makes me a bit nervous about it. I'm also nervous for the various changes that this is going to bring in those 10 days. Waking up early at 4 o'clock, there is no dinner, so any evening meals are out of scope here. Again, I've been kind of preparing myself for that as well. So I have been taking my last meal at about 7 o'clock in the evening. So hopefully the impact should not be too bad, but no meal at all is going to be a big change for me. There is no reading and writing allowed. I'm used to writing my morning pages every morning, and I also read a book, no matter what book it is. I'm used to reading a book. Also, I listen to audiobooks, I listen to podcasts, so all of that will not be there. So I think the third change for me will be no music. Social media I can manage without. I had anyway deleted all the apps from my phone. One other change that I've made, thanks to some of the YouTube videos that I watched, and I picked up some advice from those videos, was to get in the habit of sitting without backrest, sitting on the floor, sitting in the cross-legged position. Those were the changes that some people had suggested one should do, and that was another aspect that I was nervous about anyway, that I have a severe back pain, and I'm not used to sitting without backrest, and that was one of the reasons why I did not go for this meditation over the past few years, though I actively considered signing up for it. But whenever I tried to sit for more than 15-20 minutes without backrest, I would get a severe back pain. So going by the advice that I received, I tried to sit at home for an hour without backrest. That did not remove the back pain from my routine, but it definitely gave me a confidence that that back pain was bearable, and I could manage to sit without backrest and in the cross-legged position for at least an hour at a time. Currently, because I've practiced it at home sitting for an hour, that has definitely helped. That has given me that confidence. So any new students who would want to try this, they should definitely try to sit at home without backrest in a cross-legged position for 45 minutes to an hour, and see how they feel about it. Initially it will be difficult, but if you do it on a daily basis, at least 1 hour 2 hours every day, it will prepare you for the 10-day course. The other aspect that also helped me was the fact that while I was sitting for that hour, I was actually playing the videotape of 1 hour Vipassana meditation by Sri Goenka ji, and that also put me in the mindset of meditating for an hour. In the past, I would struggle to meditate for more than 15-20 minutes. Max would be about half an hour, 45 minutes. This time I have tried to meditate for an hour, and surprisingly, I was able to do it. I would again recommend that also as a practice if somebody wanted to do it. The fourth thing that I did as a preparation was also to listen to a few videos of Sri Goenka ji giving the discourse. So these are not the meditation videos, but the discourse videos. I did go through 3 to 4 of those videos. I did not do more than 4 because I wanted the element of surprise at the course itself. So I didn't want to preempt all the discourses beforehand. The other thing that I definitely helped me and I would highly recommend is this book, the Vipassana book. This book is written by William Hart. I would highly recommend picking up this book before going for the course. This is a condensed version of all the wisdom, all the teachings of Buddha, which relate to Vipassana meditation. Ironically, I had picked up this book more than 10 years back when I had visited the Vipassana Center at Ekatpuri in Bombay. And there was a library, and of all the books in the library, I picked up this book. And interestingly enough, I may have read a few pages over the years, but only when I signed up for this course is when I actually read this book. And surprisingly, I had actually forgotten that I had this book. It was in last 15 days before now I'm due to go for the course. Basically, I caught attention of this book pretty randomly in the library that you see behind me, and I picked up this book and I started reading it, and I've read about 75% of this book, and that creates a good foundation of what to expect from the course and from the teachings of Buddha. So I will definitely recommend reading this book. If you don't read this book, then listen to the discourses of Sri Goenkaji, which are available on YouTube. Essentially, the discourses and the book contain same material, but I found the book very, very readable and easy to digest. The other preparations that I did was really visiting the facility, and because the facility is just 40 kilometers from where I live, it was possible for me. But if you are out of station a student, then this may not be an option for you. But because I was living locally, I visited it just to get myself familiarized with the route there, because it's in a village, so it is probably not easy to navigate to the place. Google Maps was useful, but the road to reach there is not the most comfortable route. In terms of the stuff that I packed in my bag, I may have overpacked some of the stuff, but I will probably go with overpacking than underpacking. So I have got 4 pairs of undergarments and socks and couple of hand towels, one bath towel. I've also packed a bed sheet, one torch, because you wake up at 4 in the morning, so you might need the torch as well. I picked up mosquito repellent as well, because this is monsoon season and we are in a village, so high level of mosquitoes. I've also packed up an umbrella, because where I'll be staying, from there to the meditation hall, I'll be walking on an uncovered path. I've also picked up a thermal, just in case the meditation hall gets too cold, though I'm going at in the peak of summer right now. So the temperatures are pretty hot right now. It will be in the high 20s to low 30s. But I will still keep a thermal with me just in case it gets too cold in the meditation hall. I packed up 4 t-shirts and shirts, and 5 pairs of trousers or pajamas. That's what I've added. I've also added my specs and a water bottle and flip-flops. Those are the things that I've packed based on the guidance that I've received from the Vipassana Center, as well as from the other students who have attended meditation in the past. I think I'm excited, but also I'm not expecting miracles from the course, because while 10 day is a drastic course to attend, where you will be meditating for 11 hours at a stretch, I feel just like any other activity in our life, the rule of use it or lose it will apply to this one as well. When I'm preparing for a marathon, I have to prepare for it for about 3 to 4 months prior, and then there is a marathon, and then after marathon, if I'm not running, then I can't do another marathon unless and until I start preparing all over again. So you got to practice it on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, if you can, to get the benefits of it. It's not like you go for 10 days and then you come back and you're a renewed person, and then that will stay for the rest of your life. Of course, some aspects of it will remain with you, just like a runner. Even if he doesn't run for 1 year, when he hits the tracks again after 1 year, he is not starting from zero as a new runner would start. A old runner, even if he hasn't run, he will still have an advantage. So I guess I will have that advantage after completing this 10-day course. Even if I don't meditate regularly, I'll be starting at a higher level whenever I would go back to the meditation practice. I think the other thing I had learned from my marathon or swimming training is that you have to gradually build it up. You can't one fine morning decide that yes, today I'm going to run a full marathon. You're going to hurt yourself. Similarly, for meditation, I gradually built up my meditation over the last 15-20 days to be able to do at least 1 hour or 2 hours of meditation every day. So I'm not going completely greenfield into it. I have also listened to the discourses, so some of the wisdom that will be given there, I am aware of it. So intellectually, I'm prepared. Slightly, I think emotionally, spiritually, I'm prepared for it. But that is the best preparation that is possible. I am keeping my fingers crossed. I was just talking to a family member this morning, and the realization that I will not be able to talk to my family for 10 days, that is something that has stuck to me only this morning, and I'm going for the meditation course in the afternoon today. And I'm recording this video in the morning of the day that my meditation course starts. And it almost feels like death, that your family members can't reach you for 10 days and you can't reach your family member for 10 days. It almost feels like how it would be if you died, and you can't reach your family members for those 10 days, and your family members also probably would feel the same way, that you are not accessible for 10 days. So it does feel like some kind of a death. And I think with the internet and the social media, we have forgotten that feeling of not being connected to your family and friends. While you could be in a different country, but you have social media, so even if you are not talking to your family members, through their social media post, you actually get to see what's happening in their life. And I guess there is that level of connectivity which did not exist about 25-30 years back. And therefore, I think this is probably a big change for all of us, that in the old days, when there was no internet and people were taking when the flying also did not exist, and people would have to travel by sea to go to another country, and their family members were also out of touch for maybe months together. I guess that would be the same feeling now. Okay, signing off now. It's a test of your mental and physical strength, and at the same time, this is 11 hours of meditation and 1 hour of discourse. So for 12 hours every day, you are sitting in a cross-leg position without backrest, no back support, and this is for 10 continuous days. And what I have found is that there is a lot of noise in your head on the first day, and you are battling with that noise, and at the same time you're battling with the physical discomfort of sitting in one position for such a long time. So that physical discomfort definitely plays on your mind, and at the same time you are also focusing on your mental noise. The uniqueness about Vipassana meditation is that you are not required to focus on a word or an image. You're not chanting, you're not thinking about some symbol. There is no religion involved. You're only focusing on your breath and on your bodily sensations. And as simple as it sounds, it is as difficult. Very difficult to focus on your bodily sensations when there is pain in your back and legs and neck. I found that challenging. After first 3 days, the internal noise gradually reduced. First day it was extremely noisy, second day it came down, and third day it was to a very, very low level. From fourth day onwards, my mental noise was pretty much minimal. Of course, that doesn't mean that I did not have any thoughts, but those thoughts were partly voluntary. What happens is, when you are in a lot of bodily pain, you realize, at least I realized, that one good way of getting rid of that pain is to engage in active mental imagery of something that keeps you engrossed in that thought. And
in my case, I would think about some past good memories, or I could just imagine some funny situation. So it could be a real situation or an imaginary situation. And as long as that thought kept me entertained, I would not feel any back pain. So that goes to show that your physical pain is primarily driven by your mind trying to focus on something which it doesn't like. In this case, meditation, in this case, focusing on your breath, focusing on your physical sensations. And that was a big revelation for me, that your physical pain, at least the backache and the legs hurting and the knees paining, that was primarily because I was focusing on an activity that my mind did not want to do. And the big revelation was that while we take so much pride in ourselves, in our ego, in our overall abilities, we have minimal control on mind and therefore minimal control on the body as well, because your mind is regulating the body. And that was a question that came to my mind, is that if my mind is controlling body, and if I'm not able to control my mind for focusing on my breath and looking at my physical sensations, then there are three different entities. There is me, who is trying to get something done. There is a mind that is preventing me from getting it done, and mind is controlling the body. And essentially, these 10 days turn out to be a battle of mind and me, which is probably two different things. And I felt that being left alone with my own thoughts was a very, very difficult situation for me to handle. And I'm glad I was able to handle that situation, but it's not an easy situation to handle. For me, dealing with a lot of previous memories which did not get enough attention from me over the years, and I was quite surprised as to how much of stock that was lying there which had to be cleared. It was like a huge government office with thousands of files lying all around. Some of the files have never been touched, some of the files have been constantly opened and reopened and thrown around. And this time was a time when somebody actually entered the room, cleared off all the dust, opened the files, rearranged them, looked at the files, arranged them in such a way to say these are the important files, these are the less important files. And that was the process that my mind went through during these 10 days, or rather 5 days. I think first 3-4 days were like massive movie running in my head. And the other experience I had during this time was that while in the past, whenever I would access a past memory, it would be like a low resolution movie. But during this 10 days, when I had no mobile phone and no external stimulus, just me with my own thoughts, the memories that were coming back were very, very vivid. They were like full 1080 resolution, high quality movies being shot and shown on a big screen in a movie theater, almost life size. And the detailing was very, very accurate, and a lot of colors, a lot of details. I was quite surprised. Some of the very, very old memories, I did not know I would remember so many different details of some of those things. I could recollect some of the bus numbers, some of the buses I took as a child, and some random neighbor's name which I did not even know I remembered. Very, very vague things that came forward, and it was like living that whole life all over again. I almost felt that I was in those scenes. I was there. I was living that part again. And once all of that was accessed, it kind of gave me a new interpretation of some of those memories. I was able to see some of those things with a new view, and that definitely meant that I was actually reevaluating my own life with a different lens of my own. But because of all the noise over the years, I was not able to see some of those things very clearly. I was able to look at some of the things that I've done, which I regret, some of the things I should have done and I did not do, which I regret, and so on and so forth. But Vipassana is not about regret. Vipassana is about today. So you typically cut off all the past, something that has happened, gone, you learn from it, you move on, and you focus on today. That's why you focus on your breath. Also, some of the dreams that I got at night, they were very, very vivid dreams. And usually I would struggle to remember half the dreams the next morning. But in this case, I had very clear dreams, sometimes nightmares as well, half the time nightmares. And those dreams stayed with me not just in the morning, but for 2 days afterwards as well. And I think that was a big revelation for me. I think what Vipassana meditation does, especially or rather when you're doing it at a Vipassana meditation retreat, is that there is no contact with the outside world, there is no mobile phone, and you're not speaking as well. Essentially, after taking out all those sensory contacts, you're left purely with what happens in your head and what happens in your body. And what I realized is that there's a constant play of thoughts in the mind, and those thoughts are essentially driving the feeling in the entire body. Whenever the back pain would get too much for me, or whenever I would feel restless, I would take my mind to some memory, or I would imagine something, and that would automatically and quickly quieten my body down. Now, that is not what the intention of the meditation is. The focus of the meditation is to actually focus on your breathing and on your sensations that you feel in the body, which means you have to be present and we need to be there. And for some reason, your mind doesn't let you be the observer of what's happening in the body. That is one aspect that I'm still trying to understand. But whenever I was able to focus on the sensations, I could feel sensations in the body. And those sensations typically would be in the form of a pulsation feeling somewhere, or it would be a tingling sensation, or it would be like an electric current passing through my arm. Those were very momentary and they were randomly happening in different parts of the body. But when you are there, when you are in that zone, that is probably the only time that you are really connected with your deep inner self. Otherwise, when we are operating in the outside world, we are so distracted by everything that is happening around us. And what surprised me is that you need very little to be distracted, and you can get distracted very quickly. And you're so distracted that you don't really understand how you feel about a situation because you're not connected to your sensations in the body, and therefore you operate at a surface level, you operate at a superficial level. There is an action and there is a reaction from you. There is something happens around you and you react. You hear a bird sing and you react to it. You hear a car honk, you react to it. You see a person passing by, you don't like the smell of that person, you react. You see a person do something, you react. You see a flower, you react. So there is a constant reaction happening, and not all those reactions are understood at a deeper level. What this meditation helped me do was to actually get connected to myself, probably for the first time in my life. And on this last day, on day 10, they relaxed one of the rules, which is noble silence. And on the last day, we were allowed to talk in the second half, roughly, and we were also allowed to use our mobile phones. And just that one rule relaxation of being able to talk, that in my experience created so much of action in the mind that when I sat down to meditate in the group meditation hall or the group meditations, I struggled to bring my focus back to the meditation. And for that entire hour, I was constantly thinking about that 30-second interaction I had with someone. And I tried my best to limit my interactions because it was still day 10 and I wanted my focus on the meditation to remain as intact as possible. But even a 30-second interaction with someone, just talking to someone, exchanging pleasantries, that was enough to disturb my focus. And that goes to show that you don't really need a lot of sensory input to take you out of your body frame in terms of your mind's focus on your body and to get driven by what is happening around you. That it is not easy to do this kind of meditation at home all the time with the same effect as you do in this 10-day course. If you want to practice this at home after attending the course, and yes, you should first attend the course and then practice it at home. I have been doing this meditation at home before attending the course, and I can say that probably I was able to only achieve 5% of 10% at home than what I achieved here, because this 10-day course has created ideal conditions for meditation. It's a safe zone, and a lot of precision planning has gone over the years to make this course to what it is. And therefore, I think coming to this course is probably the best way to experience this meditation. And what I intend to do is, after going back home, I intend to practice it at home as well, but I also intend to watch out for the sensory inputs that I keep receiving. And some of that is involuntary and some of that is voluntary, like how much of the use of social media you want to do, how much of the mobile phone you want to check, how much of television you want to consume, how much of a conversation even you want to have with people. Even when you have conversations with people, how much of talking you want to do in those conversations. I think all of those are sensory inputs, and if you want to stay grounded, then I would say probably one way is to limit the sensory inputs that you receive. That's 4:30, 4:15 in the morning. You can hear the bells ringing. We are actually walking towards Dhamma Hall. This is our everyday routine. This is day 11 and we have finished our final day yesterday. This is our last final video. It is pitch dark at 4:15 in the morning, and this is how we gather in the morning to start our morning meditation.
My name is Ajay. This is, I want to say, my 5th or 6th 10-day course, but my first seva. Let me backtrack and start by saying how I got involved. A friend of mine told me, I was going through a rough patch back in 2007. She told me about Vipassana and that it's meditation, like mindful techniques, it's healing. So I wanted to give it a try. So 2007 was my first course, and I absolutely was blown away. I'm 38, 2007, I'm bad at math. Do the calculation, 24 years old maybe, is when I did my first course. It blew my mind. What was really moving is the actual experience that I felt. It was not just theory, not what Guruji was saying in the videos or the discourse, but the actual experiences of your breath work and the senses that you actually feel. Where it really matters is discipline, consistency, and daily practice after the 10-day course is over. We live in a day and age where we want instant gratification. We think we will go to a 10-day course and whatever we are struggling with, it'll be healed. Far from it. This is a lifelong path, a lifelong journey. 10 days is just to teach you the basic techniques and show you a scientific way that is non-sectarian. You could be of any faith, any religion, practice anything that you're doing, and still do this to get out of your suffering, your misery. So that's what I loved about it. Life happens. I'm guilty. Did not maintain my practice, but something kept pulling me back over and over. So in the course of from 2007 to 2024, I've managed to do about 5 to 6, as I mentioned. One of them is called Satipatthana, which is more of a senior course. Since 2021, I have been more disciplined about my morning and evening practice. And why do you think everybody should do it? I feel like there's we live in a culture. Obviously, I'm of Indian descent as well, but I live in the U.S. I grew up as a Hindu, right? My mom and my dad taught me prayers that I should say in the mornings. I did that for 30 plus years without knowing what I'm saying. Then one day after taking Vipassana, I asked my parents, I'm like, what am I chanting? Like, what am I saying? What are these prayers mean? What do they mean? They're like, we don't know. Our grandparents, our parents told us, so we told you. For me, I started, as I matured, as I started asking tougher questions and challenging certain beliefs, I started to wonder, I'm like, okay, Buddhism and Vipassana is more of a way of life instead of a religion, right? Like, it's very pragmatic, it's very realistic, it's scientific. And as Buddha says, try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Give it a try, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, no. If something else works for you, can keep doing it. But have an open mind. Some people are like, 10 days of no talking. I'm very much into physical workout because that's my stress reliever. Think of this as a 10-day boot camp for your mental health. It's all about discipline. It's all about pushing your boundaries and knowing that you are capable, right? You have to push the envelope. If not, it's going to be the status quo. You're not going to grow and you're going to stagnate. So is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You will want to run away. But once you get past the hurdle, you will realize all the untapped potential that you have. I'm getting goosebumps if you could see as I say this, and you will realize what you're truly capable of, right? And you will keep drawing back to this. Now let me switch gears and talk about why I decided to serve. Seva is something, like, we talk about donation, we talk about dana, dakshina, feeding others and all that. For me, I was like, I need to do some sort of a volunteer where I can see the impacts happening. What better way for me to be on the other end when I've done all these other 10-day courses and it was so flawless, so smooth, and there's people working behind the scenes that made that happen for me. So I was like, okay, I think it's time to return the favor. And the beautiful part about this is it somewhat mirrors the day-to-day life, right? Because when you're serving, you're working alongside other people. Not everybody's gonna see eye to eye. There's gonna be conflicts, just like how it is in the real world. Before, we were reactive. We would get short-tempered. we would have a tone or an attitude, or we want to say something back to hurt them. Now, when you're living and breathing this practice and coexisting with other people that you don't see eye to eye, you're quickly able to be agile and adjust and be mindful of your response. And then you're strengthening that practice, that nerve, that muscle, and then you go on and apply that in real day-to-day life. So that's one huge aspect for me. And also, on the 10th day when the silence is broken, to see the joy and smiles on everybody's faces. I literally, the analogy I used was, it felt like a graduation ceremony. When everybody just comes out there like, oh my God, I got a doctorate, I had a thesis for 4 years, or I had a master's, and like this, everybody was struggling, aching, crying, complaining, and then you see this brightness on their face. To like there's been a shift in their mind, and it's a permanent shift. It's not a temporary band-aid. And what I want to end with is, you just are filled with gratitude, because you did a small part in making this world a better place and exposing people to this beautiful technique called Vipassana.
Thank you, Ajay, for sharing your thoughts. So if you have watched this video so far, you have heard me, you have seen my experience just before starting the course. Also, you have heard me share my experience immediately after completing the course on 10th day, and you heard Ajay as well. It's been 2 months since I completed this course. I'm recording this segment of the video 2 months after completing the course, and I will answer some of the common questions. It will also highlight what people feel commonly about this course and what are their most common concerns before they sign up for this course. So let's dive in. My answers are based on my 2 months after completing the course, how I feel about the changes in life. So first of all, I think the feedback that I've received from people who know me is that they do find me as a slightly different person, and hopefully that experience is positive. The first question that I have received from people is why. That is the most common question. Why should we waste or invest 10 days or 10 precious days of our life into sitting in one place, not talking to someone, not doing anything constructive? Why not use those 10 days for something more productive? And the answer to that question is, you will sign up for this course only when you are ready, and you will be ready only when you will see that there is something important in your life which needs to be fixed, and to fix that, this course would be the right choice. So I can't answer the why question for you. You will be ready, and only when you're ready you will already know the answer. And if you still have the why question, then you're definitely not ready. So wait for that calling. I know it sounds very philosophical, but that is true. No amount of me explaining is going to change your mind. You will be ready, and once you're ready, you will sign up for that course. So that would be my answer. But in short, in my case, if I was to answer why, I wanted to clean up some of the unaddressed issues in my life, and this course definitely helped me in cleaning up that mess, in cleaning up all the unaddressed issues in my life. And I also felt calmer after coming back, and people who know me believe that, you're already such a calm and sorted person, why did you have to go for this course? Well, actually there is always a storm underneath, even for calm people, or especially people who are known to be calm. There's a big storm underneath which is just not addressed, and this course gave me that opportunity to address some of those issues that I actually did not know even existed. I was able to go even deeper than what I thought I would be able to do, and therefore if you see my video just before the course and after the course, you will see a marked difference in how I am accessing my thoughts and how I am addressing the issues in my life. So definitely that why for me was, it calmed me down. The other question I got was, if I had a choice between going for an exotic holiday for 10 days and going for a meditation course with strict diet and strict sleeping and waking regime, what should I choose? And my answer is, if you were to go for a long drive in your car, and the choice was to take the unmaintained car which is making noises and which runs inefficiently, or to send the car to the garage, get it fixed, and then go for that long drive when you can actually enjoy the drive. You don't have to worry about the car breaking down, the car is running smoothly, the AC is running well. The choice will obviously be to send the car for the repairs first. So I think if you go for a Vipassana course or any meditation course for that matter, you will be able to enjoy that exotic holiday later on much better. Next question I received is, I can't sit for 12 hours continuously. Well, that was my concern as well. And I would say on the day of meditation, when on the first day of the course, or day zero, when you are registering yourself at the facility, tell them that you will need a chair, and start with a chair. If your back pain is really bad, then you should definitely ask for a chair. But there are two types of back pains. One is you have a serious medical condition and you can't really sit for that long, you should ask for a chair. The second one is in the category in which I fall, where the back pain is bearable, but there still is back pain. I sat through those 10 days, and on day one I did not ask for chair. Day two I said let's see how it goes. Day three the pain was still unbearable, but I thought I will persevere and see how it goes. And by day 4 5 I was used to the pain, and day 5 6 onwards the pain was manageable. So I persevered through, and I was glad that I did not ask for a chair. But you take your call. I would say if you have a medical condition, definitely ask for the chair. The other caveat I would also call out is, if you have some ongoing medical issues for which you are seeking medical treatment already, do talk to the management of the Vipassana center before you sign up. The next question is, what if I can't control my mind? Is it any use going for the course at all? The course is not about controlling your mind. In fact, you will go there and you will not be able to control your mind. Even after 10 days, I was not able to control my mind, which is perfectly all right. The course is not about controlling your mind. The course is about knowing that the mind is uncontrollable. And whenever you find those moments, try and bring your attention back to your breathing and to your bodily sensations. That's how you will gradually progress. People who have done these courses multiple times, people who have done even longer courses, 30 days, 45 days courses, even they are not able to control the mind. That's one of the most difficult parts of it. Your journey will be different from mine, as it will be different from other people who are attending the course at the same time. Some people may be able to focus better, some people will be able to focus less. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have gained less from the course. It's your journey, take it at your pace. All of this is for saints and great souls like you. It's not for me. That's again a common situation that I've heard from people who say, I can't stay without eating non-veg, I can't stay without smoking, I can't stay without drinking alcohol, I can't stay without my mobile phone. How do you expect me to stay calm and quiet for so many days? To them, this is what I say. If your family member, if someone close to you was admitted to a hospital and you had to be by their bedside for 10 days in the ICU, most of these restrictions will apply to you as well. Will you be able to do it? Of course you will be able to do it. I think when you are put in a situation, we are able to do most of these things. We just don't know the limits of what we can do. It is a mind game. We underestimate what we are capable of doing, and if there is a need, we can go through it. So it is not as bad as it sounds. Yes, it is difficult, but whether you can do it or not, you should be able to do it. Look at the tips I have shared at the beginning of this video of some of the preparations you should do. So don't go into it completely blindfolded, unprepared. It's not something that should be taken lightly. Make a right preparation that I've shared at the beginning of this video. Will the effect last, and for how long? That's again a common question. And now that I've had 2 months since completing the course, I can tell you the effect does not last, and which is fine, and which is why some people go repeatedly. I have been meditating every morning since coming back, and obviously the effect is still not the same as it was immediately after completing the course. But look at it like, going to the gym or going for a run. Any physical activity do, that effect is not going to last you for long. You have to continuously or continually keep going for your morning runs, going to the gym, so that the gains you're making will last. If you stop going to the gym, all the muscle that you gained will last maybe for a few weeks, and then it will go away. That's how human body and human mind is designed, use it or lose it. Same applies to the meditation course as well. You have to keep practicing it, and you probably have to go maybe at regular intervals and do 10-day courses, so that you are able to replenish that energy again. 10 days are too long. Why not shorter courses? Well, the Buddha designed this meditation 25 centuries back. That's 2500 years ago. Life wasn't this fast. So the actual duration was much, much, much longer for the effect to take place. Given how hectic life we all lead now, the Vipassana courses are designed with the minimal possible impact on the daily life, and that is why 10-day course is the minimal course. I think those are some of the questions that came. So I wish you all the best. I hope you found this video useful. In the description of this video, I'm also going to share a link to my blog where I am going to share some of my deeper thoughts as well, for those who would want to read it. Share this video with people who are still in two minds whether they should sign up or not. Maybe it will take you a few months, weeks to decide, which is fine. It has taken me years to decide as well. But as long as you have done your research and you know what you're getting into, this course could be potentially a life-changing experience for you, as it is for me.
There's no perfect solution out there. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. But at least you can say you give it a try. But be open-minded and give it a fair try. Best of luck. Thank you.